All right, guys, I promised to flow all these ports and see how bad they are as far as flow from each other. So we're flowing through the second copy of the quickie port, and we're doing number 2, which has a fairly sharp radius on it, and we are going through 5. I'm sorry, not 2, 4. 4 and 5. Yeah, that's it. Oof. Sorry, guys. Now 5 has got the real sharp turn, but take a look at how well it actually did. Okay, you can compare 5, which is an upper, which makes it harder, and it's got the sharp corner, right? Versus 2 and 7, which were very close, right? They're pretty good. That port turned out pretty darn good. I'm actually surprised because it does have the real tight current turn on it. You know, these runners are the worst because you're coming from the plenum, you have to go around this sharp turn here, and then the port is actually bent the wrong way. It should be bulged out this way. It's not. It's bulged out the other way. I don't know what they're doing. But with enough grinding, you can get it halfway decent. I was actually surprised it flowed as well as it did. Now let's take a look at 4, which has the sharp turn, but it's going through the lower plenum. Okay, did not do as well. It hangs with it to about 300, 350, and then it's just not as good. So what I did in a little bit of an experiment was I did some flow ball work on this little lower plenum, and because I did a sharp radius here to feed more air to the upper plenum, which was hurting, after I did that work, it definitely had a lot of turbulence going over this edge. And right in this area had a lot of turbulence with the flag. So what I decided to do was throw a lump of clay in there. Take a look at it. I'm going to fire up the bench and you can take a quick look at it. Okay, now I took out that little dome. Let's see, we got a little gunk there. And let's fire up the bench and see what we got. Sorry, guys. I'm just thinking right now. You can actually see where the air is coming down and it can't quite make it around. Interesting, right? I think I'll work on that some more when the spacers come, but it's not the end of the world if we leave it the way it is, and that one is a little shy. I'm sure by the time I go through all of them, we'll have 1 or 2 of them that are good, and a couple of them that aren't as good. I did put I put some more work into number 4. Let's flip this over and I can show you guys. Okay, number 4. Wow. Take a look at what they did. Right, you're coming out of the plenum. You go around this tight corner right here. And instead of giving it some room to sweep, right, they curve it the opposite way. And they curve it the opposite way by a lot. So, what do you wind up doing in that case? Right? You work on this as much as you can. And I did it without drilling holes in it. In reality, it needs to be welded or epoxied and completely filled here. Right? It'll be interesting when we get the throttle body injection manifold, because I'm willing to bet they're not nearly as bad as this. And the runners, what they did is, I can see just from a picture of it right here, it's bulged out. All right? They give it a little more room to make this turn. And this isn't so kicked in. So this I moved out quite a bit. Let's show you down its throat. Okay, hopefully that new light pays off. You guys could see that. Yeah, you can see that left wall has had a ton of work because it's relatively straight now. It was not straight before. And it's still not perfect in every way like my wife, but it's better than it was. Okay, this is quite hard to see. Let's try to see if we can change our focus in a couple spots. And as much work as it's had, it's still not great. It's just literally shaped the wrong way. So what do? You do what you can. You do what you can. And you call it a night at that point. What did I have to mention? I had to mention something to you guys. I got to find out about getting valves. I'm definitely going to need a couple sets of 188, 1/6 valves and a couple just to try different valve angles and stuff on. DV wants to go with a shallower valve angle. He says he thinks that's the way to go because the manifolds are going to be so terrible. But I don't know. I think the steeper valve angle works differently on a running engine. So I'll have to have a little more conversation with him about that before everything's finalized. Alright guys, I think that's enough for one day. Thanks for hanging out and dealing with this. And we should have new stuff coming in any day now. Have a great night. Thanks a lot. Oh, and just one more thing. Take a quick look at all 4 of those ports and how close the swirl is from port to port. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's really not bad. Way closer than most dual planes. If you don't think so, go back to the dual plane that I did on the big Chevy bow tie, and I did a lot of work to that, and they weren't nearly this close. I just think it's interesting, and yeah, they're off in a couple spots, but overall, number 7 has got the lowest swirl curve. Let's take a look at number 7. Okay, here's number 7. All right, it's a lower. It's got a fairly sharp curve, but at least the runner is shaped better than on the other side. But the way it dumps into the port makes a huge difference in the amount of swirl it makes. And you know, this one swirls in at this angle, right? This one swirls in at this angle. Both of those are close to the shape they should be, right? So this is probably a better flowing port. Number 7 is better flowing port. These are shaped the wrong way, so these two are both going to be bad. This one's even worse. This is the worst right here. Just by looking at it, I would say it's the worst. All right. Enough fun for one night, guys. Thanks a lot.